So now that OpenAI came out with the ChatGPT 5 Pro and has some new announcements in the LM arena, you can actually test out multiple AIs, or you're talking to an AI and you're not sure if it's actually lying to you or hallucinating. You can just ask both of them at the same time and see a side-by-side comparison. I was talking to a guy high up in a BPO company, and he was working with the normal Gemini, which is this one, right? You got the Gemini stuff, you can ask questions, it gets all the basics done. Instead of using Gemini, you should use Aistudio. Aistudio is the exact same thing, you just have a lot more control over it. So you can choose a model, same as with the normal Gemini webpage over here, as you can see, right? So you got Pro and Flash, and if you go over here in Tools, click on this one, you get the lmarena option, right? But over here, you can kind of also test the newest version and the other previews they have as well. Because this one is the latest version of Flash, which actually is better. I tested out a bit. And I can show you a bit in the other tools. So this is one of the tools, right? This is Aistudio. And you can even give instructions right away as well. So there's more customizability, more control over it. You can even adjust the temperature of how creative it's allowed to be. The cool thing as well, if I ask 10 biggest pain points YouTube creators, let's say, I can do Control Enter and it will run it right away. But the cool thing is I can also branch out. So I can ask or start with a few prompts and I can say, hey, I want to see if I branch it out to 2 different versions, what would happen? And I'll show you this in a moment once it's actually done. I'm using 2.5 Pro, so it's a bit longer with responses, but it's also going to be a bit smarter. So Gemini tends to talk a lot. Anthropic Claude is way better because it is way shorter and to the point, but I like Gemini because it gives you all the entire rundown. So for example, here I can say in instructions, be very short and concise with your responses. The person you're responding to is an MBTI commander, so communicate in a way that fits his personality style. Don't mind the typo. And now I can rerun this, which of course is normal, right? You can do that anywhere else, because now it should be way shorter, hopefully. It doesn't always work, because as I mentioned, Claude is way better at this because that's built-in system instruction. There we go. See, way shorter. But I have a lot less context, a lot less nuance. That's the downside. But I like this. It's also a bit faster now, which is great. So I can say, okay, I want to branch from here. And now we're basically in the new branch created, or we can go back to the original. And then I can continue the conversation here. And if I'm like, hey, I kind of want to go back, I can just go back to the original conversation, like so. And I can see the branch conversation too. And then I can say, focus on AI creators instead in this branch. And if I'm like, I want to go back, right? It's kind of like a checkpoint. When you make a branch, you make a checkpoint. So you can kind of go back to like a saved version of what you used to have. It's kind of like video games, really, right? You play a video game, you save the game, you continue on, you're like, I kind of, screwed up or didn't get the high score or whatever. I can just go back to the checkpoint, back to the old save game, and just restore that one. And that's kind of what this branching or checkpoint basically is, right? So now once again, you see this branch, I asked about AI stuff, and I go to this one, to the original, and now I'm back to the checkpoint I had before, which is very nice, especially for more complicated stuff. So that is Aistudio. Then the second tip I gave him is lmarena. It's used to figure out, what is the best or, the better AI out there. I like it for side by side. And I can say, hey, I'll use Gemini 2.5 Pro. Maybe they got other ones. No, yeah, so they do have the other ones too, just like an Aistudio. And let's say I want to use the Flash preview. I guess on the thinking version, just to give a little bit, keep it similar, right? If you do a thinking version or thinking LLM versus a non-thinking LLM, you will always have differences. And this is a bit more fair. So say 10 biggest pain points people have when new AI news comes out. Control Enter. It will run both of them. As you can see, Flash is a bit faster because that's what it's marketed as, a fast model. Not sure if it did any thinking. Well, we'll see. So as you can see, the first one is kind of similar. They just phrase it differently. And I suppose Flash is a bit more structured. The pain, the result. The pain, the result. And here's like some context, pain. Some context, pain, right? So I like Flash more, and it was also a lot faster, of course. But once again, this is not a complicated prompt or a really deep, complicated question that requires a deep and complicated answer, because there Flash would probably lose on paper. Job security. Oh, interesting. Lack of context and understanding. Yeah, okay. So it's says the same thing. It just phrases it differently. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. right? And then I can say which one is better, and you can use it for free, by the way. So of course, Gemini is a free product, but you can also use all of these paid LLM, right? Grok is one example, Claude as well, of course. You can even use the newest 4.5, which is supposed to be the best model that they have to offer nowadays for a lot of use cases. And 2.5 Pro even gave a little table. I like that. That's cool. And even says that, you know, the actual practical part of the abstract things it's naming over here. Huh, those are pretty scary stuff, I guess. Ah, yes, marketing versus breakthrough. That's an annoying one to go through. What doesn't it look like the same thing for me? Maybe we should pitch, or like maybe we should pivot, focus on these pain points, and say, hey, I'm an expert in the field. I've been automating stuff. And I'm here to help you out. Here's what you need to know. That could be an interesting USP. Anyways, so then I can say, okay, let's say, you know, both are kind of good, really. And then I can do a follow-up. I can generate images as well. Although we'll start a new session. I can do web search as well, but also add a new session. And I can upload images, right? So it's not really that useful for advanced stuff where you need images or you want to attach stuff, or because, you know, they both have also different context. So Gemini 2.5 Pro is like a 1 million. If you use Claude, for example, Claude does not have 1 million context token, right? So it cannot remember as much in the conversation. Same goes for GPT, by the way. GPT runs out of context real fast. So yeah, these are 2 tips I gave the high-ranking BPO guy that I came across. So Aistudio for more control and more customizability. And if you're able to be a bit more advanced, you can also give it function calling, so it can do stuff for you, right? If you add a calendar, it can add things to your calendar, etc. lmarena just has 2 different models, and you can just, you know, prevent hallucinations, because if you give a big YouTube transcript and you want to know, like, hey, what's a good title for this video? What's a summary of this video? You can give it in here in the prompt. You can say, hey, Gemini Pro, what are the, you know, the key takeaways from this video? Once again, the summarization, you'll give it the summarization, and then GPT will do the same, and maybe it differs. So then you see, one of them is hallucinating. Which one is it? Right? So then you gotta just rerun the whole initial prompt you had, or you gotta just choose another model and see if you get the same issue, or if it's actually the same results you'll be getting. And that's how this helps. It's really good for hallucination pinpointing, and for just seeing which one is better for your use case. So for example, Claude, in my opinion, sorry, new chat, is way better for marketing and for email copy, for example. So I'll do on it versus, let's say, GPT-5, right? Let's say I am an administration/accounting office based in Miami, Florida, let's say, right? I need to send cold email copy to, who would you target? Consultancies that focus on the industrial niche. I need email copy according to Alex Hormozi's method of writing copy. It needs to have a no-brainer offer. Create 2 versions of this copy for my email. Our company is called Wrench Accounting. We have 20 employees and do around 3 million revenue a year, right? Not realistic necessarily, but we specialize in understanding the industrial business and the consulting business. We offer a done for you service, right? So this is a bit more advanced, just not that much advanced, but let's see what happens. Claude is faster. Interesting copy. Gets a bit long, but okay, alright, that's fine. Risk reversal makes sense. Dream outcome makes sense. GPT is kind of taking a long ass time. First name, do it. We'll handle you 3 most things as free. Oh, that's a good offer. This is gonna be dream outcome, definitely. It seems like that makes sense. I guess dollars is missing over here. Delayed invoicing, planning. Okay. It even has like a negative reply as well. Nice quarter. Nice urgency. Yeah, Claude did a really good job at this thus far. Let's see what GPT does. Profit legal audit. Risk reversal was interesting. They both go for risk reversal. Oh, it gives you options. Don't like that one. Maybe. If you don't actually do this, might be a bit sketchy. Ooh, that's a good offer. But this, you have to be really sure you're doing a good job of being an expert in this field and actually being confident you can actually pull this off. Of course, you always have some of them that will, you know, end up like needing to pay them, but and also can be a bit too good to be true. So people might be actually skeptical, or like they can be scammed with the, because it is a bit of, you know, confidential data really to get these separate data points to get their accounting stuff. So it's good, but I have my question mark. Whereas this one is good, right? Okay, version B, which is outcome guarantee, whereas here it says dream outcome. So there's a bit of a difference there. And also the formatting is different, but it might be because of the API. Supplying ideas. Or cut your close to the last minute. Oh, this gives me question marks, which could be a good thing because that makes me want to actually interact with the email. Okay, job level margins. These are a bit vague. They're not very direct, right? Whereas with this one, this makes sense. Like this is straight to the point. I like this. It's very direct. I know what I'm gonna get from opening this email. Where here's like, huh? I might open it, but I might also not open it because it's just very confusing. Not clear language. Huh? 30-day. Okay, but you wouldn't say no brainer in the email. That's a bit weird. I wouldn't do that. You know, an offer you can't refuse, maybe, but no, I wouldn't say no brainer. And even saying an offer you can't refuse is a bit sketchy. Margins. We don't hit outside country at least. I do like this idea more of do a charity. Oh, I don't know why it's stuck to this. I mean, I get it. It's a no-brainer offer, but and I guess this makes sense because here you're qualifying the person you're emailing. That's good. And this makes sense, but it doesn't give the negative reply, right? Audit or later, which is not an issue. Like this is a small detail. But overall, I think Claude does a way better job as I expected. Of course, maybe I'm a bit biased, maybe you think differently, but I think Claude did a way better job at this. Or Claude is way better. And I can just change this, right? And I can say, think of a different subject line which is more aimed at the busy accounting seasons that are pain points for these consultancies. And that gives me options. Year-end close, stealing your December. I like that. That's smart. That's real smart. There's a lot of companies at the end of the year who are stressed out and so much work to do and deadlines for their year-end close and closing the book. So this directly just puts salt on the pain point, so you want to open it. Because now you're like, yo, what the, right? Q4 close, text prep, yep, that's cool too. Ooh, that hurts. That's the competitor talk, right? In 8 weeks, your book's ready. It's a bit weaker, but it's tight. Yeah, but some business owners see this as a strength. No. And Claude gives us also the best one. Oh, interesting. Beyond relevant. Yeah, I don't agree with this. I agree with the first one it gave. Just year-end close, stealing your December again. Because look, people have families usually, right? Especially in consultancies. A lot of married people are consultants. And have kids. So this hits a personal pain point, at least if they're a bit more emotionally inclined. If they're more rationally inclined, it could also work, because also it's logic again, right? That's why I like that one the best. So I don't fully agree with this. But this one's really on the point. Okay, so then seasonal subject line options. So as you can see as well, it took the winning prompt and then they both got this as context and not the other one that I refused or was like, you know, not that good. Year end. Oh, this is a lot of options. I guess it makes sense because it I told it we're in the US and at 1099 is like a US term. W9 season. These are okay, but these are very generic, I would say. Like it's good, but it's decent. It's not good. It's decent, but they're very generic, right? This one, like once again, this to me is like gold. This looks like gold in a coal mine, like a diamond in a coal mine to me. If I were to use this one for this niche, if I was serving this service, etc., I would take this right away, right? That will be pretty insane. But yeah, I still say right is better. So once again, this is purely a marketing part. So if you're building a business or you're in business already, if you need marketing stuff, use Claude as the AI you're talking to for the marketing stuff. Same goes for branding. Same goes for getting, you know, guidelines for your branding colors and the vibe you want to give off, right? Any graphical assets you want Claude to give you the rundown of what to use or the prompts to use for image generation or video generation tools as well. Claude just excels at it. It's insane. GPT, as you can see, it works too. It's just not optimal, right? So from 1 to 10, where 10 is best and 1 is worst, I would say Claude does like a 9 or an 8.5, and GPT does like a 6 or maybe 6.5, but I'd still say like a 6 out of 10. So that's just how you can use lmarena, and that's just how you can use Claude for all your marketing needs in your business. And not even your business, right? If you're looking for a job, I would also say use Claude. Claude can help identify your unique selling points